Hi, I am Niall, and in this video we will learn how to deploy a machine learning API and app that predicts the forest fires using Flask on Heroku. Let's get started. Before we get started, what is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. APIs are used to request specific information from applications. There are many different types of APIs. Some include REST, JSON RPC, XML RPC, and SOAP. Each API architecture has its own requirements. This video, we will be using the REST architecture. The first step is to build the API and app and upload the code to GitHub. The code can be found in the description below. Let's have a look at the API first. The API has two main files, the app file and the machine learning model. The app receives inputs and returns outputs. The machine learning model predicts the probability. The app starts off by importing libraries. Then a Flask app is created. After that, the machine learning model is loaded into a pickle file so it can be used later on. This API uses the get method. Other API methods include put, patch, delete, and post. After the get method is used, a function called home is defined. The function creates three arguments, temp, ox, and humid. These arguments stand for temperature, oxygen, and humidity. These are the values that the machine learning model will use to predict the probability of a forest fire. These values are turned into variables and made into a NumPy array. The NumPy array is then fed into a machine learning model so a probability can be made. The probability is turned into a string and returns to the application that requested the information. Now that you know a little more about the API framework, let's have a closer look at the machine learning model. The machine learning model also imports libraries. After the libraries are imported, it gets the data. Since the data is in CSV form, it is turned into a NumPy array. Then the data is formatted and turned into integers. Then the data is split into a test size and a train size. The test size is 30% and the train size is 70%. This model uses logistic regression. Logistic regression is used when predicting the probability by a certain class or event happening. This is a perfect fit because this model is predicting the probability of a forest fire. After that, the model predicts the probability, and the model is loaded to a pickle file so it can be used by the API later. Let's move on to the app now. The app has two main files, the app file and the HTML file. The app file starts off by importing libraries and initializing a Flask app. Then, it creates a function and renders the HTML template for the user to see. After that, it uses the get method to create a function named predict. The predict function takes the values that the user submitted and turns them into parameters. These parameters are sent to the API, and the API returns a response. This response is displayed on the user screen using the HTML template. The HTML template also displays if the forest is in danger or not. Let's have a look at the HTML file now. The main part of the HTML file is the form part. There are three different forms, and the forms use the post method to send data. To run the app on the computer, open a new terminal and type in the command python app.py. This should start the app on your computer. If you want to move on to the next step, make sure you add the API and app code onto GitHub in two different repositories. That concludes the first step. The second step is deploying the code to Heroku. If you don't already have a Heroku account, you should make one. Once you have your Heroku account, open your dashboard. Select the New button and select New App. You can type any app name you want, but having the same app name as your GitHub repository makes it easier to find. You can press Create App. Now you have to choose your deployment method. Since our code is already on GitHub, we can connect to the GitHub. Type in your repository name, and connect the repository. You can now deploy your app. Once Heroku is finished building the app, you can open it. Now the app is finished deploying. You can press the top right button in the top right corner to open the app. It will take some time for the app to load for the first time. You can test your app out by entering values. And that's how the app works. If you want to use your own API in the app, you can go to line 14 of app.py in the app and replace my API with your own API URL. You can also access an article on how to deploy a machine learning API and app using Flask on Heroku in the description below. Put any comments or questions in the comments. Thank you for watching.